Good afternoon and welcome to today's Industry Week webinar, Digital Transformation, Accelerating Time to Value and Unlocking Double-Digit KPI Improvements at Scale, sponsored by PTC. My name is Jill Jesko and I am Associate Content Director for Industry Week. Before we begin, I'd like to explain how you can participate in today's presentation. If at any time you are having audio difficulties or slides are not advancing, simply hit the F5 key to refresh your webinar console. If you have any technical difficulties during today's session, please press the Help button on your player console to receive assistance in solving common issues. This webinar technology allows you to resize the presentation by clicking the Maximize icon or by dragging the lower right corner to enlarge the window. And we welcome your questions during today's event. To submit your questions to today's speakers, simply type it into the Q&A window on the left side of your screen and hit the Submit button. We will be answering as many questions as possible during the Q&A session that will follow the main presentation. But please feel free, and indeed we encourage you to submit your questions as they occur to you at any time to the queue. The PTC logo you see on your console is hyperlinked. If at any point during this event you would like to visit their website, you can simply click on their logo and a new window will open. This will not take you out of the webinar. Please also be aware that today's session is being recorded and it will be available on the Industry Week website within the next week for you to review. You will receive a notification by email when that archive is available. Now I'd like to introduce today's speakers. Joining us today are Torsten Weiler. Torsten is the Head of Sales and Marketing at In-Ray Industries Software. Also, we have Ola Borkbiak, and Ola is the Senior Director of European Sales at PTC. You can find more information about today's speakers by clicking on the blue Speaker Bio widget on your console toolbar. With that, let's get started. Welcome, speakers, and the floor is now yours.
Thank you very much, and welcome to everybody who is joining this webinar today. My name is Ole Borkbiak, and I want to start up giving you a little bit of an idea about what is PTC and what are we actually doing. First of all, PTC is a technology partner who specializes in digital transformation and innovation, with experience driving impact in thousands of manufacturers and industrial environments worldwide. We have a $1 billion plus revenue as a global supplier, and we have more than 6,000 employees and over 30,000 customers. There's a few reasons our customers choose PTC over our competitors. It's because PTC delivers an approach that centers around impact and high-level business objectives. And taking this approach allows our customers to see enterprise-wide value. Focused on developing connectivity software, Kepware, part of the IoT scope of PTC supply, is a key component in providing real-time data from assets and up to any kind of IoT solution and OT solution. PTC was acquired by PTC in 2016, but have actually a history going back to 1995, which is today plus 25 years. We serve a wide range of customers in a variety of vertical markets. We are distributed in more than 100 countries by our partner network and in US mainland by PTC directly. We are honored by accolades that speaks to innovative industrial IT solutions, product quality, and company culture. For Kepware, part of the IoT product line in PTC, we are reaching all the international markets through a network of really high-skilled preferred distributors. We are covering our main network with 42 preferred distributors who is actually acting as our feet on the ground. And in fact, Kepware is able to serve customers in more than 120 countries through these partners, with partners channels and some direct sales. Preferred distributors promote, distribute, and offer local support, training for all our software solutions, including Kepware's product portfolio outside of North America. Working with a preferred partner ensures access to local pre-sale support, training, technical support in your local language and in your local time zone. And our co-speaker here who would present our use case is actually our local partner in Germany, Inre Industrie Software, and I will be happy to pass it over to him a little bit later here. We serve a wide variety of industries, including oil and gas, automotive, power, and many others. We are actually providing application that works from plant floor to well site to wind farms. Kepware serves a wide range of customers in all these different vertical markets, including a lot of different industries. Kepware's growing presence emphasizes both the increased demand in many areas for the ability to connect disparate devices and applications ranging from plant control system to enterprise information systems. And our commitment is to deliver quality solutions to these markets. Kepware has a long-standing relationship with a lot of well-respected customers spanning a wide range of industries. Kepware's active customers include 60% of the 10 top 100 companies in the Fortune 500 annual ranking. And the companies on the list who is not only, is just not our customers. We have, beside these, hundreds of other large customers that we can put references to. Just to tell a little bit about the journey for the Kepware Industrial Connectivity Platform. As I mentioned earlier, we started back in '95, where Kepware part was focused on developing some low-cost HMI solution, and quickly discovered a niche in delivering software connectivity solution to existing human-machine interfaces, SCADA systems, mesh system, and the historian type of products. In 1999, Kepware began building software to get information from all kinds of devices on the factory floor that was made for discrete environments. In 2001, Kepware began broadening its product portfolio and beyond the discrete manufacturing and entered into a lot of other verticals. In 2009, Kepware released its flagship connectivity, industrial connectivity platform, KEPServer EX. And most recently, Kepware recognized that we actually need to move with PTC into a more IT-centric type of support system. And Kepware was acquired by PTC in 2016, complementing PTC's IoT portfolio of products. The strength about the KEPServer EX and ThingWorx Kepware server platform is that it supports southbound connectivity of more than 150 different drivers to connect to whatever you need in the industrial asset, in an infrastructure application or building automation application. And you have one platform where you can connect to all these different devices that is there in just a few minutes. Our communication is secured by modern encryption. We support drivers and interfaces northbound so you can ensure your asset and have a secure and safe communication. And actually, after having been on the market for more than 25 years, we have proven our reliability in our products, and we serve today over 75,000 sites worldwide. You will simply not find a manufacturing site around the world where you don't have kepware in some kind of application. It could be a subcell part of a production line on the powertrain on an automotive factory. It could be in an asset monitoring pump station in Australia and so on. Our products are supported by a team of OT connectivity experts, so we have domain expertise. And in the areas where we are not directly involved with the customers, our partners are taking that part to the full extent. And we have, of course, it is a trusted factory type of component for many, many years, so we have a very strong legacy. Just mention a few of the drivers we have in our product. That is our unique selling point. That's where we differentiate from all our competitors. We have all these different both new and legacy devices that we can connect to, and that's where we differentiate. We are totally vendor agnostic. No matter what vendor that built a machine, use a specific controller on a manufacturing asset on a pump station, we can connect to it. And that's make KEPServer EX a really unique component in any time of application where you need to take real-time data from your asset and put it up to a control system of the actual application and push data into cloud to provide analytics and so on the IoT side. Two seconds. KEPServer EX and ThingWorx kepware server solves common data communication challenges by, first of all, offering a broad range of drivers available on the market, as I just showed you. We are expanding, enhancing, and maintaining the kepware solution portfolio with frequent releases and updates. We are enabling projects to scale as needed without degradation in data, quality, or reliability. We are ensuring that your communication are secure, authenticated, encrypted across various network topologies from local on-premise to cloud-based, wide-scale distributed network topologies. We are providing one unified configuration for managing connectivity to any data source. We are simplifying the installation. We are simplifying configuration, maintenance, and support instead of working with a vast variety of vendor-specific components. And finally, we are future-proofing your project through a market-driven product development. We are updating our drivers, our connectivity to whatever is coming into the market, and we are still supporting all the legacy part as well. And really, this webcast is all about how we actually provide value for a customer. And the use case that our partner is going to present is not really unique. That is a typical use case for a customer using our product. And I cannot be more happy than I am today to present Thorsten Weiler from INRAE, our really valued partner in Germany that has been working with this end customer Greiner to go through the use case and what kind of value we provided to them. So from here, it's all from me. I push it over to you, Thorsten. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Ole. Yeah, good afternoon or good morning to everybody listening to that webcast. Thank you very much for your interest in that interesting case study, I think. Yeah, first of all, it's not the customer itself who's presenting the case study, because unfortunately our main contact person at that customer has not been available to do the presentation. But I would try to do my best as a kepware partner and also partner of Greiner Packaging to speak about their use case and their challenges they had in the beginning, how they went through the project and the outcome. And I guess at the end of the presentation, we will still have plenty of time for some question and answers. So I don't want to bore you speaking about InRay, so I will directly dive into the use case and into the customer situation. So speaking about Greiner, Greiner is a bigger company headquartered in Austria. The company has been founded before more than 150 years, and their annual turnover is about $1.8 billion US. The main business of Greiner is they are manufacturing innovative and high quality plastic packages. They have almost 11,000 employees worldwide in more than 130 locations. And what is a bit unique, that kind of huge company is still family owned. So very, very interesting company with several businesses. One of these businesses is Greiner Packaging. So Greiner Packaging itself is only one of 4 segments of Greiner, or the Greiner Group. Greiner Packaging, they are in more than 30 locations divided on 19 countries. These countries are mainly located in Europe, but they also have plants and facilities in the USA, Mexico, and India. And only that part of Greiner Packaging is having an annual revenue of about $740 million US by just offering food and non-food packages. So their customers are reaching from huge food and high-quality food manufacturers like Nestle or Danone to also automotive manufacturers. Speaking about the project, so what has been the project goal in the beginning, and why did Greiner decide to change something and to do something? So what they wanted to do is they wanted to stay competitive in the packaging industry, and also wanted to sustainably secure their jobs in Europe, because as you might know, Europe is maybe has not the lowest labor costs, so they need to deliver high quality and good prices, and need to have a very effective production environment to stay competitive in that area. So what they wanted to do is they wanted to increase product quality even further, and they also wanted to increase productivity. So how did they want to achieve that? The idea has been to get connectivity to as much plastic molding machines as possible. They wanted to connect these molding machines with each other and also with the database to collect data out of all these different kinds of equipment. And after collecting that data and storing that data in a centralized database, they were thinking about developing quality parameters, and with that, optimizing their processes to increase the quality and also increase productivity. The main challenges to do that have been that they are using machines from different vendors. So vendors like, for example, Arburg or Engel and Kraus Maffei, so different kinds of molding machines, vendors and manufacturers. They all speak different protocols. They all use different formats. Also, when coming from the same company, from the same manufacturer, these machines would be set up differently. Some of the existing machines are a bit older. Some of them are new machines, speaking other kinds of protocols, and so on and so on. So the main challenge has been really to access the data out of these molding machines. And one of the main issues has been that, especially that molding machines manufacturers have not been very open to access all the data, because they are fearing that the technology could be copied, or that customers, for example, can build their own molding machines. So their challenge really has been how to get that data out of these machines without knowing how the data set up in these machines is, how the data is set up in these machines. So how did they start the project then? Because they did not get all the information they needed from these molding machines manufacturing companies, Greiner contacted the specialists for connectivity, which has been Kepware, and as a local distributor and local expert, INRAE. So because INRAE has been involved because we also support training, and we can also provide services for implementation and so on. We also have offering also support in German, while Kepware is offering also 24/7 support in English. So they had both. They had the developer of the software, Kepware themselves, with a support team, and they also had us at INRAE as a German-speaking partner of Kepware to help them with a project. Our main contact has been Mr. Andreas Kurzmann. He is IT manager at Greiner. So it's maybe a bit unusual because mainly today we still often speak to automation people, engineering people. But what we also see today is that more and more IT departments get involved in this kind of digitalization projects and Industry 4.0 projects. So in that case, we were speaking to the IT manager, and what they did in the beginning is they were testing CapServerX for machine connectivity. They wanted to get the Euromap 63 standard, a protocol standard of the molding machines, and wanted to translate that into OPC and then save that data into a database. So that was the initial idea. And then they were thinking about adding another tool, OPC router, which is a product of my company, of INRAE, which can be used as an overall communication platform. So, for example, if you would like to connect that information and the molding machine directly with an MES or with an ERP solution like SAP, or with cloud systems, or with anything else. So OPC router is going hand in hand with Kepware. But we will come to that a bit later so that you can see which kind of software is doing which job. So that has been the beginning. And what worked well in the beginning is, or what really helped a lot, is that Kepware sent the developer and a project leader to Austria, so to the headquarters of Greiner, so that they can have a look at the challenge, at the protocols, at the machines and everything, to think about how to enable best connectivity. At that time, there has not been a Euromap 63 driver available. So as Ola already mentioned, Kepware is very famous for having more than 160 different kinds of drivers and supporting 160 different kinds of protocols. Euromap 63 at that time has not been on that list, but all the other kinds of protocols like Siemens PLCs or Allen Bradley or Mitsubishi, Schneider Electric, and so on. So everything was available except Euromap. So that has been the idea of Kepware, maybe to have a look at that Euromap protocol and maybe develop a driver which can help Greiner Packaging to transfer that data. So that's exactly what they did. So Kepware has been so agile and flexible to work on an own standard Euromap 63 driver, which is available since several years now for all customers worldwide. So it has become a standard driver of Kepware, and can be purchased like any other driver today. And together with the customer, Kepware was testing under real-time conditions the new developed driver. And all of this has been without any extra cost for Greiner. So no additional fee for developing a driver, which shows the flexibility and support of Kepware and how they treat their customers. And as Ole said, that's not very unusual. So that's something customers really like about working with Kepware. So how did the project then went on? So the driver has been developed, it has been tested. In the beginning, Greiner was using subscription licensing. So subscription means that they were buying a license for 1 year, and that license has to be extended every year. So you have a yearly cost to use your license, and included in that price is also all support and software updates and everything. So you have a yearly fee for your driver, instead of just buying a license for a higher price and then maybe finding out that you will not be happy with it. So they tested the first year by just having a subscription license of CapServerX, using the CapServer manufacturing suite and the Euromap 63 driver. The manufacturing suite of Kepware contains the most common drivers you will find in the automation industry. So like all the major PLC vendors would be supported, like Siemens, Allen Bradley, Schneider Electric, Yokogawa, Mitsubishi, and so on, and the Euromap 63 driver in the first year. They tested it. The test has been successful, and then they rolled out the project into 3 Austrian plants. And also they were very happy with the outcome. And after the successful first year, Greiner rolled out the project into other countries, and they decided then to buy the license, which means they purchased perpetual licenses. And they rolled out the project to 11 plants worldwide. They, of course, could have just continued to use subscription licensing and just renewing that subscription license contract every year, but for different reasons, they decided to go on with a perpetual license in that case. But just for you to know, that has not. It's also possible to continue using subscription licensing. The project structure in the end looked like this. So you see the smaller boxes on the bottom left of that picture, which shows you the molding machines and different kinds of PLCs from different vendors. And CapServerX is collecting all that data out of these different data sources from all these different kind of Burg, Engel, and Krauss-Maffei molding machines, and all of these PLC protocols, and store that data into a database in OPC format. The good thing also about the Euromap driver, before I forget, is that also Kepware developed different images for these different kinds of machines, which makes the implementation of Euromap 63 protocol much easier. So there are special images within the Kepware driver that support Burg machines, how to support Engel machines, and how to use the driver in combination with Krauss-Maffei machines, and also some other molding machines developers. So getting the data out of the molding machines and out of the PLCs through CapServerX and sending that data into a database, which has been some kind of central database at each plant. As said, there have been 11 plants in the end, so they have 11 databases, and they were using then OPC router to collect that data from all of these databases, pre-calculate the values they receive, and then send that data via REST protocol to SAP. Of course, there would have been also other options, but because of the structure of the project, Greiner chose to work with a database in between and using REST for communication with SAP. It also would have been possible to directly connect Kepware with OPC router and OPC router directly connect with a native SAP protocol. But depending on the SAP system of Greiner, they were choosing REST as a protocol between the database and their ERP solution. So some project details which might be interesting and also show the reliability and also the high performance of that solution. We're getting the data from all machines every second, and packaging is using more than 500 machines. So every second they get data from each of these 500 machines and storing the database. OPC router then is delivering the pre-calculated data to SAP every 1 to 2 seconds. So grabbing the data out of the database, sending to SAP, do some pre-calculation, sending it to SAP. Which means that system overall handles about 1.2 gigabytes a day. Without any performance issues, without any interruptions, without any loss of data. So that works perfectly fine, and the customer is really more than happy with that kind of reliable and performant system. The project outcome. So now the data is available in real time. Before that, Greiner needed to wait 1 day before they were able to have a look at the data. So they were collecting data today, and tomorrow they would be able to have a look in the data and maybe then find out that they have had issues, but they were not able to react because they only can have a look at the data 24 hours later. So today issues can be recognized immediately and not after they occurred. Exactly at that time there should be an issue. These issues can be pinpointed at once, and the customer and the maintenance team and engineers can react directly to that issue, which of course increases availability of the machines and also product quality if there should be quality issues. So with that, 24/7 monitoring is enabled, which helps to optimize cycle times. So finding out through the analysis of the data, depending on the kind of variances of the product they produce, they can use different kinds of cycle times, which helps them also to avoid downtimes, to avoid maintenance, and maybe also to increase throughput of the products. And also with that, they can recognize unplanned downtimes per machine and per equipment. And what they do with SAP in the end is that they calculate an OEE per machine. So what they can do is they can see the effectiveness of all the machines and compare them with each other. So they can compare each machine with any other machine, and they also can compare the effectiveness of a plant or a shift with other plants and other shifts, which helps a lot to increase quality and reduce downtime of machines by finding out what some of the teams may be doing different than other teams. And so they can learn out of their best from their best examples from the plants and machines with the best OEE, finding out what is the best way to produce and the best way to run all these machines. So in 4 bullet points, what they did is they standardized the data. So they were collecting all that data out of these different PLCs, like Siemens, Schneider, Allen Bradley, and so on. Also out of these different kinds of molding machines, like Arburg, Engel, Kraus-Maffei. So different kind of data sources, different kinds of protocol Kepware is helping to standardize all of that data into one common standard protocol or database. Then Greiner developed consistent quality measurement parameters. So they defined goals and defined some parameters, what the optimal process would look like, evaluate that data, and then step by step improved their processes by calculating an OEE and increasing the quality standards in all of their plants. And I'm coming to I think one of the most important slides, but also my almost last slide. So what has been the decision criteria for Greiner to choose Kepware? One of the criteria has been that they of course compared CapServerX to other kinds of OPC server vendors, and they found.
I jump in until Thorsten is back here. So yeah, I can continue from here. I think that Thorsten took out the installation part, and some of the other decision reasons for using Kepware was intuitive connectivity to machines. The configuration tool is really a powerful and easy tool. And if you have learned to make connectivity to one type of device, if, for instance, one type or special brand of PLC, the way that you actually connect to the other machines is exactly the same procedure. And only a few training needed. Yeah, it speaks for itself. It's intuitive. It's very well. There's good help information in the product that can help you guide you through this. Agility of Kepware, development of the Euromap 63 driver. I will say honestly that we took advantage of Greiner because they was in the situation where they actually had a really big number of different machines. So it was a good opportunity for Kepware to work directly with a customer and actually test our new driver on various number of different injection molding machines and CNC machines to prove that our new driver was actually meeting the market needs. And I'm happy to see that professional support at any time. And that is not only from Kepware and PTC ourselves, but definitely us also through the support that Inway, our preferred partner in Germany, has been providing over the time. Chance to first test with a subscription and then buy perpetual. The license model is always a discussion. And we encourage all people to stay on subscription. But, you know, subscription is a nice part that you can actually lease the license on subscription basis and do the first test and check out everything out before you actually decide to go further on here.
Hi, Ole. Just letting you know I'm back.
Yeah, okay. You can take it over.
Not sure when I've been lost, so sorry for that. I don't know what happened. I've just been informed that the audio has been lost. But I think Ole already put you through the slides. I don't know what Ole told you, but maybe as a short wrap up again. So really, the ease of use and the operational simplicity of the software solution has been one of the key factors for Greiner to choose CapServerX. And before they were testing CapServerX, they were comparing, of course, the software to other OPC servers. And they found out that CapServerX is the most performant and most reliable OPC server. So they started testing. And because it was very easy to use the software, they only needed very few training because everything is pretty intuitive. And what is also not very usual and common, I think, is that the automation software developer sends development and project leading teams to the customer to develop a new driver together with the customer in very close collaboration. And yeah, I was just joining that meeting again when Ole was speaking about the subscription and perpetual opportunity. So usually our customers are having taking a decision in the beginning to choose subscription or perpetual. More and more customers are choosing subscription today. In that case, it has really been a help for Greiner to first not to be forced to buy a license for a higher price, and then they decided to just take the first year of subscription licensing. So, for example, if the project would have been not successful after the year, they could have ended the subscription period and saving some money compared to buying the license. In that case, they wanted to buy a license in the end after the first year, so they were happy with the software. They would have been able to just continue subscription, but for different reasons, they wanted to buy the license. And so after 1 year, they were very happy with the software. They decided to buy a perpetual license for all these machines. Yeah, the last slide is just pointing you to the case study, which is also available on ptc.com. So you can see the link down below, down here, where you can find that case study. You will also find some additional screenshots on how the system is set up. So for example, how the data gets from one point to the other point, and so on. And that's it from my side for today. Everything I can share with you, everything the customer shared with me before the webinar. And I think we now can go on with the Q&A session.
Okay, thank you very much for that great information. We have received some questions from a few of you already. If you are anticipating putting in a question, do it now. And while we go through the submitted questions, I'm going to ask that you in the audience please take a moment to complete the feedback form that appears on the left side of your screen. And with that, let me jump right into the questions. The first question is, would you consider the Greiner use case as unique?
Yeah, I think I take this one. Absolutely not. These are typical use cases that we are that are adding up right now. We see more and more customers are accelerating their connectivity and IoT solution on their assets, on their factories, and this is typical a use case. I will say that there's different type of KPIs that they want to actually address, and that's again something that is depending on what type of company it is. But I think that the Greiner use case overall explain what kind of application is what customers are actually looking for. How do they want to get data out from a number of plants, model them to be a representation of a kind of a standard. It means that having different brands of injection molding machines and other type of assets, they are converting that into being a model for an injection molding machine. So they can compare them from on production lines on the single factory, and also actually monitoring production lines and machines from factory to or plant to site in a centralized way. So it's really a common use case here, and that is where we can add value, because we can provide, it's simple to roll out on the connectivity layer. We can provide all the data, and then all the data analysts can take over and do whatever they want with like the 1.2 gigabyte of data that is collected every day.
Okay, thank you. Our next question is, how do you see the future use of PTC's Kepware connectivity platform?
Yeah, we can definitely see that over the last 3 to 4 years, the whole automation industry has changed a lot. We are today merging OT plant level type of automation with IT technology, and we are following that trend, and we will also adjust our functionality to meet the demand from the market here. Smart manufacturing or Industry 4.0 or whatever it's called in the different areas of the world, this digital transformation journey is something everybody has to go through there, because there is a higher demand of flexibility, there's a higher demand of growth rates and so on. So accelerating this is we want to add value to that process, and we are doing that on various levels in PTC. So from a practical point, what we are doing is trying to improve the way that our customers, the end users, the system integrators, actually faster can accelerate, faster getting from zero to having the first level of digital transformation system, where they can start getting benefits and save money for predictive maintenance, monitoring their assets, and having better OEE, and can use our real-time data. So that is the, let's say, the path that we are going. And everybody has to go this way if we want to. Everybody wants to survive in an evolving market here. From our part, practically, is that as there's coming more and more smart devices, smart controllers, the demand from us is that we are developing new drivers. There's coming. People want to have a more easy way to do configuration, so that's a continuous challenge to us to make it easy for customers.
Okay, thank you. Our next question appears to relate to the case study. The question is, and it's sort of a two-parter, what was the overall time for this case from requirements understanding to completing the work? And part two was, what kind of system was the customer using earlier to record data and analyze?
I would say it has been about almost a year, maybe. So maybe something like 9 months, 10 months. So the project started when there has been no driver available for Euromap 63. So Kepware needed to develop the driver, do the quality checks, do some documentation, everything, and then the customer needed to test everything with their different kinds of machines. So that has been about maybe 9 to 10 months until they decided to roll everything out and everything was done and running. And that's maybe something which might be a bit unique in that case study, that the driver has been developed during the project. Usually, Kepware products take a few weeks. So customers download the demo, they test the software, they decide to use the software, buy the license, and then they just need to create their connections with the software. So usually a Kepware project, depending of course on the complexity of the project, usually such a project can be done in a few weeks.
Okay, thank you. Our next question also relates to the case study. What kind of quality parameters improved?
To be honest, the customer didn't share that data with us. They also did not share their OEE, we just get the feedback that they have a double-digit percentage in improving the quality and the machine availability and effectiveness. But I don't have real values, and it's, as I said, it's a pity that we don't have the customer himself today in that meeting. But maybe we can find out and get you in direct contact with that customer afterwards. So if you would like to leave your contact details to Kepware, then we might find out that information and deliver it afterwards.
Okay, thank you. Our next question. Did Kepware get machine data from existing controllers, sensors, or meters?
Yes. So what they had, or what Greiner had, is they had of course, the molding machines, which were running with different kinds of controllers. Some of them needed that special Euromap 63 drivers, but there also have been different kinds of PLCs available, like PLCs from Siemens and Allen Bradley and so on, depending on the machine manufacturer. And Kepware, the customer was using the Kepware drivers to translate all of these different kinds of protocols into OPC and store it into a database. From a licensing perspective, they were choosing the manufacturing suite, because the manufacturing suite is a collective of the most common drivers in automation, which includes all the drivers of Siemens, Allen Bradley, Schneider, Yokogawa, and so on. So they were using that driver and were with that able to connect all of their kinds of systems they wanted to read data from.
Okay, thank you very much. And with that, I believe it is time for us to wrap up today's presentation. And before I do that, of course, I'd like to thank Torsten Weiler and Ola Borkbjerg for their outstanding presentation. I would like to thank our audience for their kind attendance. I'd like to thank our sponsor, PTC, for making today's event possible. And as a reminder, if you are registered as a group, we would please ask that you add the names and the emails of everyone who is in attendance on the exit survey. And you will receive a follow-up email that will include a link to view a recording of today's presentation. So if you found this event useful, please share it with your colleagues. With that, on behalf of Industry Week, thank you and have a tremendous, productive remainder of your day.